Today we're going to continue to talk about our new unit. Does anyone remember what our new unit was that we talked about yesterday? Our new story. Raise your hand if you remember. I'd love to see your faces if your cameras are off. Nicole.
We learned about plants.
We did learn about plants. We learned all about plants. We sure did. Today, we're going to continue to talk about plants. So let's review some things that we have already learned. Let's review some things. In the last lesson, we learned that plants are living things. Living things need 4 things. Let's see if we can remember some of those things. Russell, tell me one of the 4 things.
Food, water, air, light.
You remembered all of them, Russell. Good job. Food, water, air, and sunlight. Very good. Living things also reproduce or create more of themselves. Today, we're going to read, I'm going to read you a list of things. Some are living and some are not. If what I say is living, I want you to give me a thumbs up. If what I say is not living, I want you to give me a thumbs down. Okay? Make sure you pin my picture so I'm great big. I'm going to put you guys on my large gallery view because I had more friends join us so I can see everyone. And we're going to get started. So look behind me at this PowerPoint. I know it's kind of hard to see because the pictures are smaller, but this is a girl. A girl. Living, non-living. Living! Awesome. What about a car? Car doesn't need food, water, air, sunlight. It might need sunlight if it's an electric car, but it doesn't need all 4. A rock. A rock. No, we don't need a rock to survive. A rock doesn't need food, water, and air and sunlight to survive. What about a bug? A bug. Absolutely a bug. A bug needs food, water, air, and sunlight. It is a living thing. It reproduces. It makes more of themselves. Okay. This is a flower. A flower. Flowers absolutely are living things. We talked about that yesterday. Plants need food, water, air, and sunlight to grow. I know the food part is confusing, but we're going to explain that later on in the unit. What about a bird? A bird. Absolutely. A bird is a living thing. It needs food, water, air, and sunlight to grow. This is a pencil. A pencil. Is a pencil a living thing? Nope. It's not. It does not need food, water, air, or sunlight to grow. It doesn't even change unless you sharpen it. What about boots? Boots, rain boots. No, definitely not a living thing. You guys are so smart. You did awesome. Okay, let's erase this. So our purpose for listening today, our main topic or our main idea, what our story is mainly about, are plant parts. Today we're going to learn about the different plant parts. I want you to listen carefully to the read aloud to learn more about the topic, different parts of plants, and how these different parts use nutrients. Nutrients is basically a fancy-nancy word for food, water, air, and sunlight. So you could take those 4 things and just use one word to describe food, water, air, and sunlight. Nutrients. You can use the word nutrients to describe food, water, air, and sunlight. Let's take a look at this image. These are our vocabulary words for the lesson. Basically, the 2 words I wanted us to see are the parts of a plant. That's what we're going to be learning. A stem, that's the part that's above the ground, and the roots are the part below. We're going to learn more about that in this lesson. So we're learning about the parts of the plants. Let's listen. Even though there are many, many different kinds of plants living in our world, all plants need nutrients: food, water, air, and light. Most plants also have smaller basic parts: roots, stems, leaves, flowers, and seeds. Here is an image of our roots. Down here, these are roots. This is the stem. It's kind of like our spine that holds us up. If you bend and feel that bone going down the center of your back, that's your spine. It holds you upright. On a flower, they have stem. These are leaves. And this part is the flower. What do you think we call this part right here? What do we call that? That middle part of the flower. Are we?
A seed.
The seeds. Very good. So we're going to learn about all this fun stuff today. The different parts of a flower. Take a look at the sunflower. The parts of the plant you see down here are the roots. The roots of the plant down here are covered with soil. So when we see plants growing in nature, we usually aren't able to see the roots unless we take a plant out of the ground. I am going to mute our microphones just to make sure we are all focused and able to listen. The plant's roots reach down into the soil and grow underground. So if I were to draw the ground, the roots would be under it. It would be underneath the ground. But most important, the roots take up water and nutrients that are in the soil. Nutrients help plants to grow and stay healthy, just like vitamins help you grow and stay healthy. The water and nutrients move up through the roots and into the stem of the plant, which holds the plant up tall toward the light. So when it rains and water comes down, that water goes into the soil and the roots soak it up like a straw. They soak up that water and then they take the water up through the stem. So the roots suck up the water like a straw from the soil and bring it up through the stem of the plant. As the water and nutrients travel up the stem, they are able to reach other parts of the plant, like the leaves. The leaves are the parts of a plant that are attached to and grow out from the stem. The leaves are usually green, but they can be other colors as well. Many plants have flowers, which are also called blossoms. Look at the blossom on the sunflower plant. Around the outside, it has many bright yellow petals. The flower petals of different plants come in every color you can imagine. Now look in the center part of the plant. The part of the plant is made up by many small seeds. One sunflower seed is only about the half of the size of your fingernail. So look at your fingernail. A sunflower seed is half of the size of your fingernail. It's tiny. If the seed of a sunflower plant are put into the soil, it will make new sunflower plants. Sometimes people eat the seeds from some plants. You may have eaten sunflower seeds yourself. Okay, so we learned a lot of new things. Nutrients is basically food that is sucked up from the soil. So when it rains on the soil, the roots suck it up like a straw and send the nutrients up the stem to the leaves and continues to go up to the flower and the seeds. And if you plant a seed, a brand new flower will grow. All right, I'm going to erase this and turn to the next slide. Even though most plants have the same basic parts, roots, stem, leaves, flowers, and seeds, these parts may look different on different kinds of plants. These beautiful flowers are made from many different kinds of plants. Did you notice that not only are the colors of the flowers different, but the flower petals from different plants have different shapes too? For example, this is a daisy. See how the daisy's petals are very different from this flower's petals? So not only are the colors different, but the shape and size is different as well. This apple tree has the same parts as other plants that we'll be looking at. We can't see any apples because this picture was taken in the spring, when the blossom or flowers come out. The apples will start to grow in the summer and will be ready for picking in the fall. We can't see the roots of the apple tree because they're growing underground, but we can see several other parts. We can see many stems on the tree. The smaller stems, these, are called branches. Do you see the apple blossoms on the leaves? Do you see little white blossoms on here? There are many, many leaves attached to the branches on the apple tree. The largest part of the tree is called the trunk. The outside of the trunk is covered in bark. Bark is a kind of clothing for the trees. It protects the inside of the tree. Raise your hand if you've ever felt the bark on the outside of a tree. Is it soft and smooth, or is it tough and hard? Raise your hand if it's and tell us how it feels. Grant, how does bark feel on the outside of a tree?
Oh, tough and hard.
Yes, you're exactly right, Grant. It's tough and it's hard. It's there to protect the tree. It's to protect the inside. The trunk is like the stem of the tree. Here are some leaves from different kinds of trees. Take a close look, and you'll notice that the leaves have different shapes. In fact, one way to tell what kind of tree you're looking at is to look closely at its leaves. The leaf on the top left is from a sugar maple tree. This leaf is from a white oak tree. The leaf on the top right is from a witch hazel tree. And the leaf below that is from a black oak tree. Remember, many plants, not just trees, have leaves. In fact, leaves are especially important to the survival of all plants. Survival means that the leaves are especially important in making sure the plant stays alive. The plant cannot stay alive without leaves. light shines on the green leaves of any plant, the leaf absorbs or soaks up energy from the light through an amazing process called photosynthesis. The leaf uses the light to turn the water and air already in a plant into food for the rest of the plant. So, photosynthesis, that's a huge word. Photosynthesis is kind of like mixing up all the ingredients together to make the food for the plant. So you're taking the ingredients of water, air, sunlight, and mixing that together to make food. That process is called photosynthesis. Anya, what's your question?
What does photosynthesis mean?
Okay, I just kind of talked about it. Pretend like you're holding a bowl. Pretend like you're holding a bowl. All right, reach up and grab air. Shake the air into your bowl. Okay, now the next ingredient I want you to get is water. Shake the water into your bowl. Okay, now reach up and get the next ingredient. This one's gonna be sunlight. Take the sunlight and put it into your bowl. Now pretend like you've got a mixing spoon and stir up the water, air, and sunlight. That is photosynthesis, Anya. It's mixing together the water, the air, and the sunlight through the leaves to make food. It's like you're a cook and you're putting all those ingredients together. And that makes food for the tree. That's called photosynthesis. Let's break up that word, photosynthesis. Say photo. Say photo. Say synthesis. Photosynthesis. All right, good job, friends. All right, let's look at this image. Do you remember earlier that we said that the roots and stem of a plant move water and nutrients from the soil to other parts of the plant, such as the leaves? During photosynthesis, water, nutrients, air, and light come together in the plant's leaves. We just talked about that when we mixed it in our bowl. This is how plants make food for themselves. It's a good thing too, because plants can't move like animal or people, so they aren't able to find food somewhere else. Can a tree go hunt for its food like a lion? No. Can a tree go to Walmart and get a bag of muffins if it's hungry? No. The tree can only rely on the process of photosynthesis. It has to make its own food. Once water and nutrients are made into food through photosynthesis, parts of the leaves called the veins carry the food back to the stem. Okay, so let's look at this. I was explaining this yesterday. Look very closely at the leaf. Do you see the lines kind of going through the leaf like this? Do you guys see that? Thumbs up if you see that in the picture. All right, I want you to look at the back of your hand or at your wrist. Look right there. Do you see lines going in your hand? Those are your veins. That helps travel the nutrients in your blood. It travels through the veins. So your nutrients travels through those veins. Guess what? A leaf has veins too. And the nutrients travels through the leaf's veins to help make food for the plant. From there, the food is taken to the rest of the plant where it's needed. Let's look at this last image. Now you've learned about the most basic parts of many plants. Plants begin as a seed, which sprouts and grows roots, stems, leaves, and then flowers. The roots, stems, and leaves work together with water, nutrients, air, and light to make food for the plant through photosynthesis. So remember, photosynthesis. Let's get our bowl back out. Get your bowl out. Hold it in front. Let's get our ingredients. Who can tell me one of our ingredients that we need to make our food for our plant? What's one ingredient? Nicole.
Sunlight.
Grab your sunlight. Sprinkle it into your bowl. What's another ingredient that we need? Another ingredient that we need. Carolyn.
Water.
Grab your water. Sprinkle your water into your bowl. So we've got, what did we say? Sunlight, water. What's the last one? There's one more we need. Ooh, Grant.
Air.
Air. Grab the air and sprinkle that in. Now mix up the food in sunlight and air. What are we doing? What's this called? Photosynthesis. Say it with me. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Mixing it all up and making food for the plant. That's called photosynthesis. The water and nutrients travel up through the stem and go to the leaves, and the leaves are where they mix it all up, called photosynthesis. Awesome job, boys and girls. I'm going to ask you some questions now, but before we do that, let's do a movement break. Stand up. Okay, we're going to do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Are you ready? All right. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. All right, a little bit faster. Get ready. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Can you do it as fast as you can? Get ready. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. I need a break. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my original picture and ask you some questions. Oops. Okay. Look at this picture. It's going to help you. So, let's think. What is this part of the plant called? Who can tell me? Janya?
Yes, Miss Kate. He said it's not feeling good. So, I'm going to let him watch the record. He said he's not feeling good, so I'm going to let him
Do the recording. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better, Jonyan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. What is this part of the plant called? Let's see. Ryan.
Stem.
Almost. It's the part that goes underground. It's not the stem, but thank you for trying. Let's do Anya.
Stem 是上面。
Roots.
The roots. Very good. Now, from the roots, this big, tall, skinny part that holds up the plant right. It's kind of like our spine. What's that one called? Alan, what do you call this big, tall, skinny part? You don't know? Oh, who can help Alan out? I bet you know Alan. Are we?
The stem.
The stem. Good job, are we? All right. What do we call these green things here with the veins in them? What do we call that? Russell?
Leaf.
The leaves. You're right. What pretty colorful part at the top. Estelle?
Um,
Who can help Estelle out? The colorful part at the top. Nicole?
flower.
The flower or a blossom. Very good. Smearty, what do we call these little things right here? In the middle. The what? The seeds, you're right, the seeds. And we can plant those to make new plants. Okay, what part of the plant, well, we've done that. What do we call the process that the plant does to make food? What do we call that when we put all the ingredients together and make the food? What's that called? We mix all the ingredients together, food, water, air, sunlight, and we make food. Does anyone know what that is called? Adeline, do you know what that's called? I don't see Adeline. Let's see. Anya, what do we call that?
Photosynthesis.
Did you guys hear Anya? Everyone say it together. What do we call when we mix all those ingredients together? Food, water, air, and sunlight, and it's absorbed through the leaves?